Good morning, everybody, and here we go. 9 o'clock in New York City, the fragile peace, the U.S. and Iran ceasefire holding for now, but the pressure is coming from all sides. This before the Vice President, J.D. Vance, leads high-stakes talk over the weekend. Good morning, everybody. We've got a ton to get through. I'm Bill Hemmer. Buckle up. Here we go today.
Good morning. I'm Dana Perino. I'm surprised it is only Thursday because it feels like it could be next Thursday. There's been a lot of news, but we are here on America's Newsroom. We're going to take you through it. So these negotiations we mentioned, they're going to take place in Pakistan, and the goal is a diplomatic path forward. Their success or failure could hinge on the Strait of Hormuz. That's the key waterway that's still closed. Meanwhile, President Trump warning that U.S. forces are ready to resume their devastating strikes unless the regime complies with a deal.
So here was the post from late last night. Here we go. It's a long one. All U.S. ships, aircraft, and military personnel with additional ammunition, weaponry, and anything else that is appropriate and necessary for the lethal prosecution and destruction of an already substantially degraded enemy will remain in place in and around Iran until such time as the real agreement reached is fully complied with. If for any reason it is not, which is highly unlikely, then the shooting starts bigger and better and stronger than anyone has ever seen before.
So let's get to it. Trey Yingst standing by in Tel Aviv. Let's check in at the White House first. That's Peter Doocy's spot. Hi, Peter.
Dana, good morning. One of the first things that made officials here suspicious of that first Iranian peace proposal was that to folks in the West Wing, it looked like something churned out by AI.
The first 10-point proposal was something that was submitted, and we think, frankly, was probably written by ChatGPT that was submitted to Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. That immediately went in the garbage and was rejected. There was a second 10-point proposal that was much more reasonable.
That's where we're at. Vance is now on deck for his biggest assignment as vice president so far, leading these peace talks in Pakistan Saturday. President Trump will be watching from the U.S., where he is still stewing about military allies who left us hanging during epic fury. The president writes, NATO wasn't there when we needed them, and they won't be there if we need them again. Remember Greenland, that big, poorly run piece of ice. The man NATO sent to try to keep the U.S. invested in the alliance, Mark Rutte, now talking about his private chat with the president yesterday.
He is clearly disappointed with many NATO allies, and I can see his point. But at the same time, I was also able to point him to the fact that the large majority of European nations has been helpful with basing, with logistics, with overflights.
Some of the words that officials here are using to describe epic fury are in the past tense, like an operation that has already met its military objectives. But President Trump still is not going to pull any manpower out of the Middle East until a peace deal is reached or not. Dana?
Okay, Peter, lots still up in the air. Thank you so much. And now let's go to Trey Yingst. He has the latest from Tel Aviv. Hi, Trey.
Yeah, Dana, good morning. We just got a new statement from CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper, who said Iran suffered a generational defeat, adding the U.S. military achieved all of its objectives. Here's what Cooper had to say.
U.S. forces have paused offensive operations in accordance with the ongoing ceasefire. However, we remain present. We remain vigilant, and we remain ready if called.
We remain vigilant, the words there from the CENTCOM commander, as we do have a new statement from Iran's president, Masoud Pezeshkian, who said the repeated aggression by the Zionist entity against Lebanon is a flagrant violation of the initial ceasefire agreement and a dangerous indicator of deceit and lack of commitment to potential accords. The coordination of these aggressions will render negotiations meaningless. Our hands will remain on the trigger, and Iran will never abandon its Lebanese brothers and sisters. Now, the Israelis yesterday conducted dozens of airstrikes against Iran's largest proxy in the region, Hezbollah. You can see some of these strikes here in the Lebanese capital of Beirut, specifically the Dakhya neighborhood. The IDF says they took out a top Hezbollah official identified as the personal secretary to Hezbollah's Secretary General Naim Qassem. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying this yesterday about the operation's goals.
We have more goals to complete, and we will achieve them either by agreement or by renewing the fighting. We are prepared to return to fighting at any moment necessary. Our finger is on the trigger.
Israel preparing for a variety of contingencies in the days ahead as international attention remains on the Strait of Hormuz. Yesterday, 4 different vessels were able to pass through this area. According to initial reports, these were not oil tankers, but container ships. Today, there are questions about how many vessels will be able to get through, as Vice President J.D. Vance issued a new warning last night to the Iranian regime.
I encourage the Iranians to come to the table seriously. We've seen some signs that they're going to do that. We've seen some signs of bravado. Fundamentally, we're in a good spot. They're reopening the straits. We have a ceasefire. And frankly, if they break their end of the bargain, then they're going to see some serious consequences.
The vice president speaking very clearly there about the negotiations that are set to take place this weekend in Islamabad, Pakistan. He'll be joined by special envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. Bill, Dana.
Trey Yingst, thank you. And now let's get to Bill over at the board.
Okay, we're going to explain a few things, Dana. I want our audience to think about 4 or 5 things on this first map here. Number 1, the country of Oman, and then UAE, and then Iran over here. And in between this area is the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, so that's the balance that we look at right now. This is what we believed happened in the Strait of Hormuz over the past 24 hours. April 7th to April 8th. Today's the 9th of April. I count 10, maybe 11 cargo ships and tankers that have gone through the Strait of Hormuz. And what you see in green are those entering the Strait of Hormuz. What you see in yellow is those exiting. On a normal day, before this war started, some 40 days ago, you would have 100 ocean liners going through the Strait of Hormuz. Remember, 24-hour period, it's 9, maybe 10 over that 2-day period, April 7 and April 8, all right? Here is the old track, all right, from the Gulf of Oman, right, off the coast of Oman. Iran is over here, and then in turn, the tankers would come this way as well. What Iran is doing right now is they're diverting these ships to come closer to its shoreline. We talk a lot about these islands that Iran has, that owns right now. That's like Larak Island. This is Kamesh over here, a larger island. So what the Iranians are doing is they're diverting traffic this way so they can hopefully, they believe, at least they say it publicly, collect that toll in either cryptocurrency or Chinese yuan. That's the strategy on behalf of the Iranians today. We're going to watch that throughout the day and see whether or not that traffic picks up April 9th, April 10th, into the weekend when J.D. Vance and others are in Islamabad. This is what the Israelis did in the meantime, and this is a really good question as to what the Israelis thought this ceasefire was all about, what the Iranians thought it was about, and what the U.S. thought it was about. Everything you see in blue is a strike that the Israelis hit with this Hezbollah targets on the ground in Lebanon. By some reporting now, they went after 100 targets in a 24-hour period. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.